Why short-term trading in the US market beats the long-term investing for this year and also into 2023. And this is what we are going to discuss today. And I will go through a few case studies for this year and also my plan setup for next year. As much as the Fed wanted to slow down the interest rate for the rest of the coming meeting, but they have limited control. It all depends on the forthcoming data, especially the CPI and the employment numbers. Now, if these data continue to stay firm or worse, higher, the Fed may not have a choice but to resume back to its massive rate hike again. And this is what we will be discussing today. And the content, there are two segments. The first segment, I'm going to share with you the investing types and its time frame. And in this segment, we will discuss about our identity in the market. Knowing our investor profile type, it will help us to choose the right time frame to invest and trade. And for the second segment, I'm going to share with you the short-term trading in 2022. And for that part, I will go through a few examples, how I manage my trades this year and 2023 on how my trade setup will be. And let's also take some time to read into the disclaimer box down here. Alright, let's get started on the first segment, and I will discuss on all the four profiles and especially why the profile on short-term trader. It works very well for me this year in a time of uncertainty and definitely into next year. And who are the four? They are number one, the long-term investor, number two, the short-term investor, number three, the short-term trader, and number four, the day trader. Let's take them on one at a time. For long-term investor, when I say 3 years or more, it means your holding period. Now, before you engage in the position, you must start to identify who you are, what's your plan. Are you a long-term investor or short-term investor? If you plan for long-term investing, it means that you are ready to hold for this position at least for 3 years and more, perhaps into longevity. So for short-term investor is this, that means you already have a plan again before engaging that position, before you trigger the position, you already knew that this is for short-term investing. It means that your holding period is between 3 months to 3 years. Do not be too rigid about it, that it has to be during this time frame. Because I have designed this matrix for my own consumption and is so far really helpful. So I hope that it can provide a guideline for you to engage in your planning for whether it's a long-term investment or short-term trade. Now, how about for short-term trading? Now, before I engage a position again, is that I have a clear identity that I make this plan for short-term trade. It means that it's a holding period between about 2 days to 3 months, around there. And of course, if I see an intraday opportunity, back of my mind, I knew that this is just for within a day. Why have I chosen short-term trading strategy for the year 2022? And I believe that it will work still very well for me in 2023. It's not because of my identity or my profile type belongs to short-term trading. I belongs to all four. And you have to understand that we have to choose the right type or the right strategy for the right season. And I'm seeing that in 2022, the bull has transited to a bear. And let's look at this chart, this S&P chart. And it's also the same for NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and Russell. All the major indices have a very similar behavior. Now, as we could see that over the years, the US market has been experiencing a bull market, but starting this year, it has transited from a bull to a bear market. Now, how to recognize that is between technical and fundamental. Now, we look at technical first. Now, if you refer back to the past tutorial, I mentioned about how to plot a very classic uptrend line is that we have to identify at least 3 significant troughs that we could see here, 1, 2, 3, and we join them together. And we saw that on the 3rd week of 2022, this very clear bearish line, you have broken below this very classic and nice uptrend. Now, technically, it has broken. Technically, you have transit from a bull to a bear market. So therefore, this year, my strategy have changed. Now, how about fundamentally? Now, if we can combine the two between fundamental and technical together, it just gives me an added affirmation. Now, for fundamental reason, on this date itself, that we could see here on 14 December, that's where Fed mentioned that inflation is no longer transitory. So it sent a signal to the market that 2022 is a year of inflation, is a year of interest rate hike. And there you can see that market is coming down. Now, how to recognize that the market is on a bear trend? It is this. Now, first, we have to plot the downtrend line. In a downtrend line, the strategy or the method will be reversed. Instead of looking for 3 significant troughs at least, we look for 3 significant peaks at least. Now, this is what we're going to do here. And I'm going to find the first point, which is the highest point, and going to connect them together. Maybe I find the third. I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. Okay, now, so we saw that there was 1 significant peak, 2, 3. And how to identify this peak? And I believe that market is going to continue to come down from here. Now, let's look at some case study. Let me just showcase a few case study over the last, in the whole year of 2022, why I have chosen short-term trading. Now, let's look at this chart here. And as we could see is that this was posted on the Feb 2022, and you could find that on my previous YouTube channel, which I mentioned about all this as well. I'm going to include the link below. You can reference to it on the past videos. That on the 28th of February 2022, again, this is NASDAQ. Earlier example was S&P. That similar behavior, we could see more significant trough. And on the 3rd week of 2022, it has broken below. So the bull has transited to a bear market until today. Now, the other example that I have, 10th of June 2022, that's where I mentioned about the characteristic of a bear market. It is a lower high and lower low. It means that from a transition from a bull to a bear, we could see that now the bear, the characteristic is that each high is a lower high and each low is a lower low. Now let's look at, this was posted on 10th of June, and let's look at the result here. And as it moved, today we're here on the 7th of December 2022, we could see that the bear still taking good shape. It is a lower low and or lower high and lower low. Now let's look at another example here. That was on the 21st of October here, that I believe that there's a proposition at a point in time that market may rebound. But I also want you to focus on one thing here, is that we are on the topic about short-term trader. Now, short-term trader, if you still remember, what is the time frame? Is the holding period is between about 2 days to 3 months. Now, I want to look at since the transition from a bull to the bear, and each wave, each turnaround from a trough to the peak, from the peak to the trough, is within this 2 to 3 months period. Can you see that? Now, so at the point of time on the 21st of October, I saw that could be a proposition that market may rebound, and because basically is on the downtrend, is traveling at a jagged formation. Let's look at what happened today. So the market is traveling up right now, and I believe it's hitting some resistance, and market should be on the way down technically. Now let's go back to the live chart to conclude the segment on the short-term trading, and we're going to move into the day trading as well. But on the short-term trading, still remember that the holding period is between about 2 days to about 3 months. Now in this transition from a bull to bear after the 3rd week of this year, my focus is to buy on short term and short into longer term. Now we could see that as the market come down, as it hit this 3rd week of this year, there were a proposition for a buying opportunity, which we saw a hammer. Now let's look at the timing here, and this is micro E-mini S&P index futures. Now with this 1st week, 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week, that's about a holding period about the target is about 1 month, 1 week. Yeah. And then after that, it hit this inverted hammer, as we could see here. Now let's count how many bars or how many wick were that. Remember, is that short-term long and long-term short in a bear market, right? Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks. That's about 3 months. So I want to see the point about it's so important that first we have to plan what we're going to do for this season, and then we got to execute it according to plan. Now let's take a look at the final development into this trend line using the daily chart as we zoom into it. Now on this weekly chart, you still remember that we saw the first peak, second, third, and we extended to this fourth peak very lightly. Now let's zoom into this daily chart right now. And this is the fourth peak. Now as the fourth peak developed, we could see that this was a hanging man, and in the theory of candlestick, a hanging man is a proposition. Perhaps you should take profit if you long around here. There's a hammer. Take profit and maybe turn short. And there's another feature that I liked quite a bit here is that sometime if I'm a little bit clueless, I would like to just play around with what I have here. And if you notice that the feature, which I shared this a few weeks ago and I still like it, I will just insert in as trend and see what the system suggests to me. Now I could see that the white line is what I've drawn, and they kind of have a new suggestion to me that perhaps I should kind of upgrade my trend line. Instead of the white line, I should consider this green line, which I thought that is valid, and I have to make some adjustment. And remember the two rules about drawing trend line. The second rule is that we have to find the best fit. So I will go with the green line suggestion, and moving forward, this will be it. Now, along the way, they also make another suggestion using the trend line, and they discover that there's a wedge using this resistance line and support line. And what I could see here on this daily chart is that yesterday it has broke below the subtrend line. So I believe that the even more conclusive is that resistance have hit on this downtrend line that we have drawn, and even more, it has also broken the subtrend line, where I'm ready to see that the probability of moving down from here is even higher. Now, let me just clear off this lines that we have. So we just take it as this white line is good, but I'm going to upgrade to that green line as you saw. And for a more refined execution, let's take a look at the 60 minutes chart. But before that, let's understand what we are trading in this micro E-mini S&P index futures. It states that the minimum fluctuation is 0.25 points, or quarter point is equal to $1.25 US dollars. And means that 1 point is 5, 10 point is 50 US dollars, and 100 point is 500 US dollars. Now, let's take a look at this refined execution here on the 60 minutes chart. That this downtrend line that you have seen is from the weekly chart that's drawn extending to right now about here. And the refined execution will be on the 1st, 2nd, or 5th. Now, as we could see that as the market retraces up, it kind of wavered in and out on this trend line. And then there was a signal of a sell down, which I like it. And it kind of pulled back up, and then it gave me an inverted hammer that's reactive to this trend line. And this could be a point of refined execution at the point in time. And with this 100 point sell off, the P&L is 500 US dollars for one contract of the micro E-mini S&P. And of course, if you find that it's too micro, you can always trade 2 or 3 or multiple lots. And maybe you can consider the big brother of the micro, which is the E-mini S&P. And let me give you my conclusion about why I'll still maintain a short-term trading strategy in 2023 is number one, the fundamental reason is as long as the CPI still maintained at about 6%, it means that inflation pressure, it is still on. And number two, if the technical reason also waver in and waver out along this downtrend line, somewhere along the downtrend line, it may break above, but then I will do my adjustment. That's my expectation of the year 2023. I will still maintain a short-term trading strategy. And do follow me on my next quarterly live webinar. We will study and discuss into the current markets. You can find the sign up link below. Also, if you enjoy researching markets and its opportunity with some help from a platform like mine, you can apply the discount code provided below. We will continue this trading series, Trading into Longevity, next week with more market insights and strategies. Feel free to leave me any comments below. I would love to exchange ideas with you. And for more market insights and tutorials, I hope to see you again very, very, very soon. Thank you for staying true, and you have many great trading weeks ahead.